heading home, cause you could bring all of your ninjas in the Technodrome. I rip right through your flesh and bone and mental capacity. Flood your mind with atrocities and copious tragedies. This dark Sabbath is a lesson in street. The holy church of the ghetto feel the words when I preach. Amen. Let the Lord say a prayer for they don't end up in front of someone banging their trigger. Living life like a war pig. Fuck the law, I'm getting mine. Let the others figure what the cost is. Purchasing the fortress on gorgeous acres enormous. Car park full of foreigners and women just waiting on us. We living the dream. Y'all living like hell is earthbound. We are not the same. You've been a lame since birth, pal. I don't feel sorry. I recommend they go dirt bound. Doggy dog world and you've been looking like Chuck Brown.
Well, beautiful people, best damn nation. It is Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It is the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. My name is Brian Renegade, and with me, I have the best damn crew. First of all, it's smelling tasty in this bitch. We got the chef of all chefs back in the building, the king of Flavortown, the one and only Chef Showtime. What's happening, Chef?
What's good? What's good? How you guys doing today?
Oh man, we good now that you're here, Chef. How you feeling, my brother?
Top shape, getting ready.
Oh man, I can see it, boy. You done lost all your jaws. You ain't got no more jaw meat. All your jaw meat gone. You looking good, Chef. Yeah. Boy, I got to get on it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got to do one of these crazy ass exercises that one of the other crew members does sometimes. But I have to go ahead and introduce this man who is the true Dark Knight. If you see him in a dark alley, run. He will beat you up and throw your ass in the trash can. He is the green-eyed bandit. He fights people. Sometimes he bites people. He's your mama's favorite wrestler, and he can whoop your daddy ass, the one and only Roosevelt. What's happening?
Yo, what's going on? Hey, man, you know what's happening? It's snowing out here, and I don't like it. It's cold. It's freezing. I can't walk down the street because I'm afraid I'm going to bust my ass. And get to that age where you bust your ass out there on the street, you ain't getting back up and you ain't going nowhere else for the rest of the day. So, what's going on, B. Ryan? How you feeling today?
Oh, man, I'm excited and I'm blessed and highly favored, but I'm so excited because it is Brutality Day. I have to show my excitement for this guest because I'm a fan of his work. And he has been kicking asses and taking names, and he has some big ass belts that's been blind to me ever since we started. So, Roosevelt, please do the due diligence and introduce our esteemed guest.
Absolutely. Listen, we've had a lot of guests on the show, but this man right here deserves all kinds of flowers, all kinds of praise because what he does, and he's shaking his head no, but he does. He does. Like, he is the big brother of all big brothers. If you're an independent talent, a young talent, older talent, doesn't matter, and you're not seeking out knowledge from this man, you're not doing yourself any justice, okay? Because this man will tell it to you like it's straight. He will let you know if it's right or wrong, if it's good or bad, and if you don't like it, oh well, kiss his ass. This right here is my big brother, man, and from the moment I met him to today, he's always given it to me straight. He always keep me on the straight path, and I love him to death, and I'm glad to have him on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed guest, the Brute, Mark James. What's going on, bro?
Wow.
Yeah, the innovator of brutality.
Man, I'm so humbled by the reactions I get from people now. Most people now in the wrestling. I'm sure there's people out there that still think I'm an asshole, and most of it's right. But man, it's always so cool to hear from people that that say I've helped them throughout their careers or like touch them in certain ways to help them go a certain direction. Not the man crazy shit. Anyway, but like I appreciate that, Roosevelt. I really do. And it's gonna be weird not calling you big. I've been doing that for what, 15 years now?
Yes.
How long? Yeah. So like I'm trying to get used to calling you Roosevelt. I don't like detonating people, you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you having me on. It's a great show. I've definitely watched the last few episodes, at least seeing all my friends on here, and like you guys bring on so much local talent. Y'all are just an outstanding professional broadcast, and I love it, man. I appreciate all that y'all do, helping people get seen, helping people get out there, getting their stories out, and letting us come on and show these things. I'm just gonna go ahead and put these over real quick. First off, one half of the UPW Tag Team Champions, first and only ever UPW Tag Team Champions with my brother Alex Evans. Brutality Inc. right here. I'm gonna move this out the way so it stops blinding, Brian.
Thank you, man. Messing up my cataracts.
that one had a bright light on. I kept trying to move it, it never worked. But this one, this gorgeous title here, the Newborn Wrestling first and only ever heavyweight champion, and like I don't take that lightly that I can say first and only. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like we've had those UPW titles for almost 2 years now. It'll be it's at least a year and a half you had them. This title, obviously, I just won it, but as prestigious as this company will be, I'm doing everything I can to make it that way right off the bat. And the bookers are throwing out banger after banger for these shows, man. Like, as a fan of wrestling, I cannot wait to see this show on May 23rd. As the guy who's the champion, fuck that 4-way match. That's bullshit. And I don't want nothing to do with none of those. Oh man, that's crazy. Like how much talent in one ring in North Carolina. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take over the show, but damn y'all, like
take it over.
I know you got that graphic. I know you do,
man, and it's going to be one hell of a match, man. I mean, you're right. That is some great talent, and whoever wins that, I think you're going to have a great challenger, man. To defend your belt against. I absolutely think that Mark James is going to still come out on top, but you're going to have your hands kind of full defending that championship, sir.
I don't fight to lose, brother. I don't care who's in the ring.
Say it again.
I don't fight to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, however I got to do it, I'm going to win. I've been doing this for 25 years now. I started in September of 2001. I was sleeping on a guy's couch after my house got raided because they thought we were selling drugs. Right. So I got kicked out of my place, had to move into a dude's house, and the guys there were training to be professional wrestlers. Okay. And I'm just going to throw this out there because I've already been on the show and you've already asked me these questions, but I want to quick review for everybody without
do you think?
So that's how I started. I started with these dudes named Vinny Vane and Bax out in Greenville, North Carolina. Actually, out in Winterville, we went out to this dude Walter's house and bumped on this old ass wooden ring that this dude put together in his backyard that had a fucking 4x6 in the middle of it, that, like this high off the ground, and every time you bumped, you felt like you were about to break it. So after about 2 of those, I broke that thing out. But it was outside, man, and we're doing this stuff. It's you can say it's backyard wrestling. These guys were training. I didn't know they were only 2 years in. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know they didn't have time in this business. They told me they knew what they were doing. They were willing to train me, so I jumped in and got in what I could get in. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like sometimes you just got to do what you need to until you can do what you have to.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
But anyway, man, so that's how it started. So like for 25 years, I've been doing this. I took 3 years off. And it was probably the best decision I ever made for my wrestling career and for my life in general. It literally saved my life to not wrestle for 3 years. So, and a lot of stuff happened before that time. But if you guys don't mind, I'd love to focus on the last 3 years of my life. Because that to me is the epitome of everything I've ever wanted to do in this business. I've been able to do, minus like getting on TV with big companies and shit like that, getting contracts, honestly. But the me coming back to the business saved me mentally. Saved. I ain't gonna say it saved my marriage. My wife hates it, but she loves it. You know what I'm saying? But just to have this therapy and this outlet, and then to come back and be so well received from guys like you, Roosevelt, who are veterans now in this business. Like, man, you got trainees. Wow, like you got Will Huckabee got trainees. Joe Black's got a whole tribe of people, like a pantheon now. You know what I'm saying? With incredible talent like O'Shea Edwards, who's part of that lineage, man. And Trayvon Ali now, the youngest, to be part of that lineage. Jackson Drake is in that. Tim is in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take none of this lightly. TDT, the guy I had to beat for this title, is one of the baddest motherfuckers in this. Man, I'll keep telling him. But TDT is one of the baddest dudes in this area, period. Like, in the state. And I got lucky to beat him. But just because it was lucky don't mean I didn't earn it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that don't mean when I get into the ring with Jackson Drake, which is another guy we'll talk about here in a little bit, which is another bucket list match. But when I get in the ring with Jackson Drake on May 23rd, it's going to take an act of God to get the title away from you, Jackson. And I love you. I really do. I love you to death. I've known you since I watched your business. I watched some of your first bumps. I've helped you learn how to punch people. I've seen you grow into a man. Jackson, I know you got a lot of things on the horizon and everything else, and you're a little distracted. That's okay. But I know you're putting everything you have in this match because you wanted to fight me for a long time. Brother, this title, as much as it means, I know is not the point of this. I know you just want to fight, and I just want to fight. But Jack, you're not gonna be. I may not win the match, but I'm definitely not gonna lose. So I can tell you that now. So you better be ready to bring every damn thing you got, dude. Everything. This is gonna be a match like you've never had before. And it's gonna be with a guy that you've never wrestled before. Nobody like me out here. I promise you. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna be beat up. Just call Gabe Sapolsky, tell him it's my fault.
Let me ask you a question, man, because it's like the emperor's new clothes, man. You have a new energy and attitude about you, man. What makes you a lot more dangerous as a competitor now than in the past?
I think there's a point where it's not that you like untap your potential. It's just you have an understanding of what you want to get done and where you want to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Plus, man, in the grand scheme of things, I'm gonna say it just like this. And I love all these young guys that are in this business, but there's a reason why veterans are the teachers. You know what I'm saying? I know what I can do in that ring, and I know I can do it with anybody else. It don't matter who's across. They could be some guy that just got off TV on a contract, or they could be somebody that just stepped into training. And either way, I'm gonna beat the hell out of them. I got the same purpose every single time. It's to hurt somebody and to take away when I could bring money home to my family. That's it. I don't work like I work to not bring home money. I don't work a job and all my time, and then after that go and train, and then after that go and wrestle to lose money and not come home with wins so I can do that, right? So that's been my thing. I'm focused now more than I ever was. Plus, this time has been about me. I haven't had to share it with somebody that we weren't on the same wavelength. You know what I'm saying? Like Alex and I have a really good understanding of what we're trying to do. So that works too. And when you have multiple people that are focused and going in the same direction, y'all know, because y'all do it on this podcast. It's unstoppable. It's a juggernaut. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna keep that steam rolling, dude. I don't know. It's been a creative energy. I've got a really good group of creative people. I mean, honestly, I talk to Christian a lot. Daniel from Bad Pats Media, I talk to him a lot. We've got a couple podcasts that we do together. Wrestle with Mark James, and we also do First Dates, which we talk about hemp and cannabis, and we talk about its medical health. Actually, right after this, we've got to interview a guy from Classic City Hemp out in Bard, North Carolina, and they're also down in Georgia, and it's one of our sponsors for the show. But we're going to talk to them about his business and the cannabis industry and hemp industry and how it helps people medically and what it can do for you. That's another thing that changed my life, brother. We see there's so much, man. I changed everything.
Yeah.
I was 350 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I almost died. Like I had to go get my gallbladder removed. Crazy shit. I had 2 surgeries, shoulder surgery. Like I felt a lot. I don't know, man. But like if I didn't make a change in my life, I was gonna die. I was on blood pressure meds, diabetic medications. I was taking like metformin. I was taking cholesterol meds. I was like you name it. And like I had to make it. My body forced me to. So like when my gallbladder went out on me, I had to go vegan for a couple months, and because I couldn't eat any fried food, I had to readjust my entire eating habits. And because of that, I was able to lose about 120 pounds. And now I'm 245. I gained a little bit back, but because I needed to. But like I'm 245, and I'm in the best shape of my life at 45 years old. And like, I ain't getting the contract. I know that, man. But I'm damn sure going to make sure I show out and I leave an impact on this wrestling industry for the last however long I got this.
I think you already have, man, because a lot of people that we've had on the show have said some very positive and uplifted things about you, man. And it's same for Roosevelt. And I tell people, man, don't take that lightly because, when people sing your praises like that in a positive manner, that means you're doing something right. And people are paying attention to how you're affecting them. So you affect a lot of people, man. A lot of people look at you as a locker room leader, as a friend and a worthy adversary, of course. But you touch a lot of people, and I wouldn't take that lightly because that is something that, you work for. You want to be a man of honor, and people see that in you, man. And I think that's very telling of your character and where you come from and how you affect people. So I just wanted to give my hats off to you on that, man, because a lot of people really do sing your praises, man. So keep on doing what you're doing because it's affecting people.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. Vince Lombardi had a quote that said, nobody really cares how much you know until how much you care. You know what I'm saying? And like I've made it a purpose this time around. I feel like I had to make up for the last few years that I was in the business. Because while I was always the guy that you could come to and was helpful, I was a dick. And I didn't need to do a lot. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to be sometimes. And like you're just too aggressive, and like I didn't understand a lot of things that were going on with myself mentally. I had to go to therapy. I had to get myself right. Honestly, I started smoking weed again, and because of that, I started like keeping real good track of all the strains that I was using, finding ones that would help with my mental instability that I've dealt with, finding ones that would help me not be hungry all the time, that would like they work the way your body is set up. You have a system in it called the endocannabinoid system, and your THC literally works directly with that. It's one of the biggest medical highways you have going through your body. Like it's just a healing system. So if you know how to use it correctly, then you're going to be able to maximize your results and you get healing powers out of it. Honestly, it's good for your body. It's natural, right? Which is great. And that's all I do, guys. I'm off every other med. Like from a doctor, I went to the doctor, they took me off the shit. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? No more high blood pressure, no more diabetes, no more metformin, nothing. You know what I'm saying? That shit almost killed me.
I want you to keep on speaking on that because a lot of people and we do have sponsors, so I'm not going to endorse anything, but I know that medicinal marijuana definitely has helped a lot of athletes and wean a lot of athletes off of the heavy stuff that actually hurts and damages their system. Me and Chef, we're out here in Phoenix, man. Uh, there are dispensaries on every corner, and they're like CVS's. And they have everything that you need in there to heal your body or whatever kind of effect that you want to have. But it's hard to not see the medicinal purposes, especially when it comes to pain and dealing with anxiety and depression, that medical marijuana deals with. And even the WWE, they just lowered the restrictions on that. And a lot of wrestlers are really coming out and saying, hey, I do this. This helps me other than being on the hard stuff. I want you to continue to speak on how it's helped you because that's a great inspiring story of how you've completely transformed your health and your life, especially. And you said by eating, and you went vegan for a couple of weeks.
I did for like 2 months, and then slowly like went vegetarian, and not like I eat meat. I can eat anything I want. I try to stay away from fried foods and things. Like I eat healthy, obviously, because I can't. Without a gallbladder, you can't eat a lot of fried stuff. You can't eat a lot of bad stuff. You'll just be sick all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. So I do eat healthier. I do all the cooking around the house. Like I ran restaurants for years, so I love cooking. I love seeing my family eat. It's like one of my joys in life is watching people eat food and enjoy it. Hopefully my food doesn't suck enough and they're not just being nice. but either way, like you figure out what works for you, man. And then I got into a job. I deliver bread during the day. This is a shoe job, and like it keeps me active all the time. I haven't been to the gym in years. Haven't had to. I stay in great shape all the time because of work, because of rest. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
On top of that, again, I smoke. Smoking weed, like can't. Well, in North Carolina, it's not legal. So for the longest time, we had to just do black market for forever. You know what I mean? But now they've passed the hemp laws, and a lot of the product is centered around hemp, but it has a high like THC ratings and stuff like that. So, like for instance, this is the THC flower that we got from one of our sponsors. This is from Classic City Hemp. All right, and well, one of my sponsors, but yeah, so they got this THCA flower, and a lot of people they call it diet weed, they call it whatever you want to. What I call it is effective because unlike a lot of the marijuana strains that you'll get from your black market or whatever, this is specific with certain terpenes that are going to help you for what you need, and you know exactly what you're buying, which is what matters. You know what I mean? Because if you have issues like I need pain relief. I've got two bulging discs in my back. I've got sciatica. I've got torn labrum in my left shoulder. I've got torn meniscus in my left knee. I need pain relief. I don't want to be on Percocet. I don't want to be on oxy. You know what I mean? I don't want to be dead in the ground all the time. So I smoke. It works for me. Nobody knows I smoke until recently when I started talking. You know what I mean? I don't go around smelling like it. I'm not trying to get high as hell. I'm not trying to get blasted. I'm 45. I'm a grown ass man. You know what I mean?
I ain't trying to get too high. I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like we have responsibilities. Now at night, yeah, I'm gonna get trashed. But during the day, you know what I mean? We got stuff to do. But like that's the whole thing about it, man. If I feel like even in this state in North Carolina, if we can explain, and I talk to my doctor about it freely and openly. I talk to therapists about it freely and openly. I don't care that it's not legal here. I feel like it should be. I'm a veteran. I deal with PTSD. We've had veterans at the Capitol here to talk about the benefits of medical marijuana. It's there's so many good things to it that I feel like not legalizing it is a detriment to the society. Honestly, first of all, you're losing out on tax money for the state, which is ridiculous. Like you use that money for plenty of other things, right? On top of that, you're criminalizing something that's a natural plant. It grows. It just grows. Now we horticulture it, but if it was on the side of a mountain, it would still grow. Doesn't matter, right? So God wants it here. If you believe in God, then you got to believe natural plants are here for a reason. Okay. From that, you have the ability to go out there. You're not worried about getting laced product. You're not worried about getting crap with fentanyl on it. You're not getting crap with like opioids and shit like that. You're getting clean product that's manufactured by people that actually care, that want to help that, people in cannabis want to help people. It's a medical industry. You know what I'm saying? But it's a medical industry that can't even use a bank right now because the federal regulations don't have a way to set up them to be able to put this money into a bank safely. It's still looked as drug money. You know what I'm saying? Federally they can raid any of those dispensaries in Phoenix anytime they want to and take all their product legal, and it's a legal product there.
Mm-hmm.
These are issues in our federal government. These are things that take away like medical needs for our community, on top of the other shit that they're doing in the government right now. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I'll talk about the whole show like this, man. Like the medical use of this plant is so important to society in general, and not just to me and my health and my daughter who's got Tourette's who uses it to help keep that at bay. My wife who has fibro who can't get out of bed half the time, but she smokes and she's able to move around and do everything. You know what I'm saying? Both of them with ADHD. Like all this centers, none of us take meds. And it settles us. My daughter's in college right now. She's going for criminal psychology and forensics. She's going to be a lab person out there. She speaks like 4 languages. This doesn't slow you down.
Yeah. I think that the stigma around it, and to be honest with you, I think the only reason why they haven't legalized it in North Carolina is because they have a lot of medical companies that are based there. And I believe that they're afraid it's going to take the profits away from that because every other state around North Carolina is actually legalizing. To be honest with you, North Carolina will probably benefit off of it more because they do have the farming land and the infrastructure in certain cities to be able to push it for it to be great. But I guarantee you when they do legalize it, it's going to be a cash grab. And then the people who have the highest price are going to be able to put in. And then the people who are trying to get into the business are going to struggle to try to get into the whole industry. You know what I'm saying? But I think that the relationship between athletes and marijuana use has been misconstrued throughout the years. And you can see advocates and wrestling advocates like Rob Van Dam who are talking about it and the uses of it. And then matter of fact, let's talk about some wrestlers who are legendary smokers, man. Give me your top 3 wrestlers who are legendary smokers.
Oh God. Man, everybody smoked back in the 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? Like they were all on everything, man. The guys were doing coke in the locker room. Guys were like, it was rock and roll, bro. Nowadays, I guess the main smokers, Godfather's always the guy people talk about nowadays. That's a big smoker. Real, obviously, RVD, obviously, like all those guys are your main smokers. Orton gets a lot of stuff from being a smoker. These are all guys that are at the top of the industry. You know what I mean? Like it's obviously not affecting their abilities.
Right.
I don't know, man. Those are the biggest ones I can think of currently. Like, new guy, everybody's like I don't know anybody in the business that doesn't really smoke. Honestly, like I know a couple of bodies, but like every single locker room we go into, everybody's talking about somebody's got a. There's always something going on. You know what I mean? Like usually after match. It's still part of the routine. Part of the
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't when I was here before. That was one of the weird things I got back into. Like there were guys that smoked, but like I think I came back to Lance Luke's benefit like rumble that we did in Burlington, and like that show I went in the locker room there, which was outside, and everybody was
Everybody was in the back getting high off the show.
It was the best environment, dude. It was such a good time. Like everybody's getting along, having fun. It was like a big family reunion. I hadn't seen a lot of these guys in a couple of years, so it's really cool. It was good to be back.
Well, if you ever go into business for yourself and you come out with a strain or a product that can be able to help somebody, we'll help you push it. You know what I'm saying? The brutality strain, we got you.
Oh, yeah. You let me far enough into this industry. Like I said, we're talking to growers now. We talked to Daniel had a great idea with this first bake concept, and we really just started doing reviews for products. Just talked about how it made us feel and what it could do people, how it tasted, stuff like that, and just doing unboxings. And now, like, it was, I guess, him and Roberto just kind of hanging out, talking junk, and then I got thrown in. But now we really want to find out more about the industry. We want to take it from show funny all the time to something that's going to educate people about cannabis usage, marijuana and all that stuff, what it can actually do for you. And I think it's going to be something that's real helpful. Obviously, we're going to have some fun too, but we want to be something informative for people in that space. And I don't know that there's a lot of people, at least around here in North Carolina, that knows about it. Like, I studied this stuff, man. I listen to their podcast called Science. It has like 2 PhD scientists that literally study back to.
Oh, look.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff, man. Love it.
Boy, Alexander, I think we just found our new merch table sale. Oh yeah, I guarantee you they'll sell at on the merch tables. Yeah, go ahead and get you some Mark James bongs. Yeah.
Brother, I'm telling you though, if I can get a strain, oh brother, it'd be a great day.
Real quick, talk about the moniker the Brute. And where that came from? Because ever since I've known you, always been a brute. Even with the tag team, the Brutes, and I'm gonna say something else, but after you explain the Brute, where did it come from?
It came from all right. Jimmy and I needed a name for the tag team, and at the time, I was just I left the Sticks gimmick that I was doing. I was doing Mark James. I didn't really have like a direction for it. I was kind of doing like the Master Malice at the time. And then that was that moniker I used for a bit. And then Jimmy was doing like New Age Jimmy Parker, like that. And we came together on the tag thing and we needed a name. I was up at like, I think 11 o'clock at night. We keep shooting names back and forth together. And we're watching The Princess Bride, which is literally one of my favorite. No, it's not very British, but screw you. Andre's in it. He's a brute. I don't hear your shit. So,
hold on. You said The Princess and the Bride? I just wanted to make sure.
Princess Bride. Yeah, man. No, that's exactly what I said. With Andre the Giant in that thing. It's one of my favorite movies. Absolutely.
I personally love the movie, but go ahead.
It's an outstanding movie, right? So, but Andre has the line in there, like, somebody should call the Brute Squad, and they said, "You are the Brute Squad." You know what I mean? So. And I was like, "Oh, we should go by the Brute Squad." And we were like, "No, some guys in South Carolina that nobody cares about uses it, so we can't use that." And we just shortened it to the Brutes, and it worked. Like it's such a perfect name for that tag team at the time because Jimmy was such a big freaking beast, and then I was like 340, 350 at the time too. Like we were just killing people. We went up to Pennsylvania to wrestle. We had to wrestle. Mikey Whipwreck and Balls Mahoney up there. And we walk in, and the first thing that Mikey and Balls both said to us was, "Please don't kill us." So, and then Just Incredible said the same thing that night too. So I think, we played the part really well. But that's where it came from, man. I was literally watching The Princess Bride, and I was like, "Oh, we should just call ourselves that." And then it just stuck, man. I've been the Brute ever since. And Alex gets a little rub from it. I love it. Everybody includes he's a brute too, because he is, and it's pretty dope to be able to like pass on a little bit of that brute mentality to another person.
Absolutely. And hold on real quick. I think he came up with a product and the name of a product that you guys can sell at the table. Brutal Bombs.
Love it.
Make it happen.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
So I had to
I need
dig.
somebody with a 3D printer.
Yeah, exactly. I had to dig in the archives a little bit because I was sitting here thinking like how many matches we've had. And I was thinking we've only had one tag match. We've had a lot of tag matches in the years that we've known each other, from Master of the Ring out in Wilmington to USIWF right here in Thomasville. And you and Jimmy were those two guys. And you mentioned earlier that a lot of people looked at you as an asshole. And I want to say it was probably because they deserved an asshole at that moment. Because ever since I've known you, like if every match we've had and every time we've been in the locker room, there's always been, hey man, keep doing your thing. You know, you're doing good. Just do this different, do this better. You know, it's never been like you came off like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And who the hell bring these green guys? And it was always, you're uplifted. And I feel like anyone that's ever felt like you were an asshole deserved an asshole at that moment. So I want to give you the flowers on that aspect, because I've never seen what you are portraying, what people say that you portrayed in that time. Like I've never seen it. You've never seen you go off the hinges unless someone actually deserved it. You know what I'm saying?
I try to make sure that it's an earned thing when I go off on somebody. However, I've been diagnosed with a mental instability called intermittent explosive disorder, and I found that
I'm
out.
sorry, you broke up a little bit. Can you say that again?
I said I was diagnosed with something called intermittent explosive disorder,
Okay.
and essentially what it is, it makes it really hard to control your emotions at times, and you like flip out over the smallest shit. And I noticed it because I see some of that in my son, and I started going to a therapist because I see a lot of me in him. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure, like, see what we're dealing with, and I'm dealing with a lot of stuff too. There was a time I had, and this was while I was out of the business. Right, there was a big mental breakdown. It wasn't great. Like COVID started, lost my job, a lot of personal issues were going on. So like, it was a rough time. Anyway, so I started going to a therapist, and I'm trying to figure out why I can't keep my cool in any situation. Like, obviously, stress pushes you over the edge, but there's something else that, like, my entire life, I've always been on a thin line with a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just snap in a fucking heartbeat ever since I was a kid. So I had to figure out what was going on. And that's where we came out to. So I started taking this stuff called venlafaxine. Obviously, I'm not doing that anymore because the great American health system changed my ability to go to that doctor anymore. And then it took me out of a place where I could get that medicine for like 2 years, which was great. Like, it just priced me out of the entire market. And that's awesome to do with a guy that needs it, you know. So that's another reason why I started smoking, because it controls that. And I don't have outbursts like that, which is amazing, you know. But like, anyway, so yeah, there are a lot of guys that probably out there deserved a lot of the shit that I gave them throughout their careers. There's a lot of guys that did.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried to talk to a lot of those people, as many of them as I could still care to talk to, and tell them that, you know, like, sure, the situation was something that probably I was right to say to you, but the way I said it to you was wrong, and I apologize. Because I don't think I was. I think the biggest difference, man, and again, I'm sorry I talk so much, but I feel like that's why you have me here. But like, I think the biggest difference was, before I got out of the business, I was trying to beat it in people's heads. Like, this is the business. What the fuck are you doing? Like, you guys are screwing this up. And I was that veteran. And that's when I was like, no, I need to leave, because I'm not helping people. And I don't belong in this locker room right now. Like, I literally was sitting in a locker room one day down in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I had to wrestle Ethan Case. I was super excited to wrestle him. And first time, never, I haven't had another chance since. And I feel like I shit the bed in the match, and I was pissed about it. But anyway, I'm sitting in the locker room before our match, and I was like, man, I just don't belong here right now. Like I did. Everybody was super nice to me and everything else. It's not like anybody made me feel out of place, but I felt out of place. You know, old guy. I was out of shape. I couldn't keep up with these kids anymore. I didn't deserve to be there. So I chose not to be. At the end of the match, I cut a promo, said that was it. Like, I got one more match in me. I'm going to wrestle C.W. Anderson here in November, and then I'm calling it quits. You know, my family deserved the time. It had been 17 years at that point that I've been doing this stuff. My family deserved me to be there. It's their time. You know what I mean? I took enough away from them. So, and then 3 years later, I'm back doing it again. So my wife yells. So it's like, oh, just 3 years. That's all we get. No, it was tough to find the balance. I think I've got it now. Not perfect, but in a good spot where I'm not trying to do this every weekend. I love what I do. I love quality over quantity. I love that every match that I have is a fucking great match. Working with outstanding talent each time, and I can go out there and really show off what I'm capable of, which is something I don't feel like I could do back with Jimmy. Nothing against him. I just feel like we got used to put a lot of people in good places and not very tough. So I feel like people are using me to do that with people, but in a way that helps me too now, and I appreciate that. I'm not beating it in people's heads anymore. I think I figured out better ways to communicate with a lot of these people, especially with a lot of the kids. But I'm still harsh, man. Like we were training the other day, and I was talking to somebody about how they look the spot, and I could tell I was getting to them because you could see it in their eyes. You know what I mean? They're like, damn kids, sometimes. Like it's not that you were doing it that wrong. It's just, man, you got to do it better. But yeah, man, it's just that different thing. Plus, like I'm around Firestar all the time now, as much as I can be, and I figured out like last week I was there like 3 times. That hardly ever happens. I'm usually there maybe once a week, once every other week. But I'm trying to be there once every 1 or 2 times a week now. We're working with the beginner class up there, which got a lot of great talent in it for people who've only been doing this 2-3 weeks. Pretty impressive. And I'm working with literally one of the best trainers in the East Coast, probably in the country, with the Broncos. The guy's outstanding. So like that's helped me light a fire. I've got all these young kids that I'm with all the time, and they, they're talking me up and everything else, trying to get me to do stupid stuff. But
do a 450 splash,
right? I screwed up and did the moonsault at the last newborn show. Now I'm stuck. Like now I was, oh shit, you could do a moonsault.
I saw that. That was impressive. Super impressive.
You got to, sometimes you just got to pull something out. Nobody expected it, so you got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my leg was messed up for 6 weeks. So. But
just tell
but like,
you'd be good.
Right? Yeah. But that's why stuff like this means so much to me, man. I had one with Extreme Shock Wrestling too. I had their heavyweight title. I was their first heavyweight champion. They had an Eastern States one for years, but they never had a true heavyweight champion. I was the inception for that. I had the NWA Continental Championship when it got brought back out of retirement. I was the first guy to get that back from NWA Worldwide Wrestling. That was with Vinny's promotion. It's always really cool if somebody puts that much faith in you, and that they feel like you can go out there. And I talked to Christian for days after this. Like, man, you want to put me in this match? You were the booker. Like, you're sure that's the right call? Because there's so many guys out there who deserve it. And I don't want to be the 45-year-old that's taking somebody's spot. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help people get higher than me in this business. You know what I'm saying? But like, when it comes down to the time that I feel like I'm just taking somebody's spot and I didn't earn it, and I'm gonna walk away. And not that time's right here, but I feel like it's starting to get closer and closer. And not that I can't perform, but I do go out. I'd rather go out at the best I can possibly be and have the matches that I want to have, and not feel like I did in 2017, where I was a fat slob that couldn't do it and was pissed off at myself every time I got in that ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to wait for that again. So I'm thinking about it. It could be end of this year. It could be next year. Who knows, man? It all depends on when the time is right. But you know, it's the tour's winded down, man. That brutality tour's got to come to an end at some point. I felt that was the continued career.
Brutality forever.
Real quick, I got a quick question. We had a segment on the show one time where we talked about almost like a passing of the choice. Like if this was your last match, who was your last opponent? You know, we talked about Rey Mysterio possibly having Dominic Mysterio being his last match. John Cena is talking about having his last match being me. If this was if you had one last match in you and you had to go out on that Shield, who is the one that is taking the brute Mark James out?
Realistically, or like pie in the sky goal?
Pie in the sky. Both of them. Give them both of them.
Both of them. Yeah.
Pie in the sky right now. Guy that would take me out, Jackson.
Oh.
Jackson.
I don't think that's a pie in the sky. I think that's very much possible.
No, it's a pie in the sky. He ain't taking me. But I feel like if I could have a guy to have my last match right now, I'm pretty close with him. I really want to test myself with him. I think my last match might end up being me and Alex. It's really hard to say, man. There's so many good possibilities out there. There really is. Like it could be you, Roosevelt. Honestly, like there's not a wrong answer for so many people. Tim could easily be my last match and I'd be happy. Joe Black could easily be my last match and I'd be happy. TDT, man, there's so many guys right now. Manny Lowe, I've still yet to wrestle him. That would be awesome. I'd love to have that match. LeBron Kozan would be a hell of a match to have. God, younger kids, man. I love to work with a guy like Hunter Rainer. I think he's a beast. I think he's a guy you got to keep an eye on here soon. CJ Evans is another killer. I wrestled him 3 years ago. We could wrestle again tomorrow, and it would be a million times better. He's improved so much. I've improved so much since that time. Man, God, that's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know that I want to do one of those. Like, here's the bad part about me, guys. When I fade away, nobody's gonna know. Like, there's not gonna be a big like, hoorah, this is my last match, this date shit again. It's not happening. I'm gonna fade away. I'll just train at Firestar. I'll do production. I'm working as a backstage agent in places, working with Pearson Superjaw doing stuff. And like I help agent at Firestar. I do production there with them. And that's the goal, man, is to transition. But like when I go away, there's not going to be some big hoopla. There's not going to be a farewell tour. There's not going to be any of that shit. I'm not leaving my boots in the ring. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just going to fade out. The same way I faded in. The same way I've always faded in. Never tried to be a big deal. Never cause any commotion or anything like that for people. Like that wasn't my goal. I did this because I always wanted to be a professional. I was a kid. I started watching the business. It's the only thing in my life that's been consistent from day one.
It's wrestling.
That's it. I love my wife. I love my kids. Like that's totally separate stuff. You know what I mean? But like, I was adopted. I was homeless. I was put out places. I was not welcome in a lot of places. Like, it's cool. But wrestling has always welcomed me. Wrestling has always been there. Anytime I needed therapy, I could go and get into a ring and feel better. I could get into a car and drive to a show and like work it all out in my head. I could get punched in the face and feel better because I felt like I earned that punch, which is a really screwed up thing to say, but sometimes you just feel like you need to get hit. You know what I'm saying? Like I deserve it. But wrestling has always been since Hulk Hogan and the Iron Sheik and the birth of Hulkamania, as shitty as that guy is. You know what I'm saying? Like But I was a huge Hulkamaniac as a kid. I grew up saying my prayers, my vitamins, all that crap. And like, it's always been wrestling. When I was in the Marine Corps in California, I was 3,000 miles away from anybody I ever knew. You know what I'm saying? But I still had wrestling. I was comfortable. Every time I could turn on that TV, I could be comfortable with people that I knew, people that I've watched for years, that I grew up and saw their character change in front of my eyes, and grew to love them, and grew to love their families and their tag partners and their enemies and everything else. It's the best stories that have ever been written in the world. Wrestling is the ultimate renaissance. Like, there's nothing like it. And it gets shit on by so many people, and fuck all those people. They don't get it. And you don't have to get it. It's fine. But everything in life, you know what I'm saying? Everything is wrestling. It's literally the greatest thing ever. It's always live. It's always new. It's always written. And yeah, there may be some regurgitation of storylines and shit like that, but everybody does something different. Nothing's the same, ever. And now it's as big as it's ever been, if not bigger. There's more like $1 million gates now than ever before. There's sellouts everywhere. Indie shows are selling out. Thousands of people at a fucking indie show, guys. We're recording these things like live television. I've got hard cams and 2 ring cams to work with. I've got a backstage reporter here. I've got full commentary that's running live at shows. We're running everything through headsets. I'm making sure the refs stay on time from production. We're talking about how we're going in and out of different segments in the shows from the back. We're able to run all that. It's a full stage production on this level. It's incredible. There's nothing like it.
It came far from the backyards, man. And just the growth of professional wrestling, where you see a lot of athletes that are coming out and saying, "Hey, I want to get into wrestling." I think I think it is a more booming effort, more especially with women too. You see a lot of women that are like women athletes, female athletes that are just coming out of the woodworks trying to get into wrestling. And
they're monsters too, man. Like this ain't the bra and panty match women that are old. You know what I mean? Like, these women want to fight, and I fucking love it, dude. I'm ready. And I've had women call me out in the state. Leah Knight's called me out multiple times. Amanda Kiss has called me out. Mila Johnson's called me out. Wanted to fight. I'm down. Let's do it.
Oh man,
I'm fighting you just like I fight everybody else, man. Huh? Yeah, man. I don't care. Brother, we're all wrestlers. We all do the same shit in the ring. They punch me, I punch them. That's how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Leah Knight, there's a match with Leah Knight and Jackson Drake on Firestar Afterburn. It was a few months ago. Go watch it. You want to talk about women, how they wrestle in the state? Go watch her against the WWE guy. Monster. She's a beast. I'm telling you. Savannah Evans. Let somebody talk shit to Savannah Evans, see what happens. Jordan Grace, they'll knock this shit out of you. It's crazy, right? These women ain't playing. Around here, Amanda Kiss, Audrey Allen, they ain't playing. Audrey's big as hell. She will tear you apart. All these little skinny guys, she's bigger than most of the little guys that are getting the business nowadays.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of Audrey. I remember when she first started and trying to get her to do a promo at training, and she would go to tears.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just could not stop. And to see her now, it's like, yo, you turned around. She's like, yo, can you believe it? And I love it. I love it, man.
Just Disney bounding through every show. She makes her own gear. She's so talented, man. All the women wrestlers, like, fellas, we suck. These women are so self-sufficient. They do all their own promos. They do all their own pictures. They make their own gear. They do all of it, dude. We're buying from everybody else, man. They get it done. Like, fellas, we got to do that.
So we got to do better. Oh man, I think Chef Showtime got something for you. Go ahead, Chef.
You on mute, Chef.
I feel bad. He's just been sitting there with me talking to John for like an hour.
I'm just listening. I mean, because you speaking on some good stuff though about like you say you don't got diabetes no more, and that's what I'm going through right now. I need to figure a way out to handle this stuff. What do
Yeah,
you
man.
think?
Hit me up offline. Let's talk. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
You're a chef. You understand food. Let's talk and see what we're putting in our bodies and see what we can do. You know.
What is Hey, what's your go-to meal?
Uh, man, I thought I eat anything now. Typically I like a lot of chicken and rice. I eat a lot of Italian food, but I don't eat as big of portions. I think
Mm,
the meal. When you figure out how to make fried foods without making fried foods, it does a lot for you. You can fry chicken in the oven, um, and it still get crispy, and you don't need all the flour and everything else. I'll send you the recipes. Um, but like my biggest thing now is just staying consistent. I went out. I think the one smartest change that I did is I went out and started buying like 8.5-inch paper plates, right?
Mm,
Because first off, we're lazy. We don't want to do dishes. It costs money. Yeah, paper plates cost money too, but it's the time.
right.
Um, but we went out and bought a bunch of 8.5-inch paper plates. And because of only having an 8.5-inch paper plate, you have less space on that plate to put food. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
We're not buying those big ass plates anymore. It's an optical illusion. And then also your body, like your mind looks at that plate and looks at the food on it. When you finish it, you feel full because you ate a full food. So it's a way of portion control without portion control. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the first changes that I made, besides drinking water all the time. Like that's water, and I have Mios in it. It's like an orange Mio that I drink religiously. But like those were the two changes that I feel like literally saved my life. Because now I can control how much I eat better, and then I drink water all the time, so I'm always flushing all the bad stuff out. I drink like probably 3 or 4 of these.
absolutely. Well, look, man, if ain't nobody told you, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
It's I think that as men, we always have to put on this tough exterior that we can handle everything. And a lot of the times before we start to talk to somebody to see why uh, certain things affect us or why we're lashing out or why we're eating or consuming bad stuff that we know is bad for us, but we do it because we don't, sometimes we depression eat, you know what I'm saying? Or we neglect um, we neglect our physical bodies and hygiene. I think it's admirable that you saw some of the struggles that you were having and decided to do something about it, man. So I take my hat off to you, man, because it's not easy. Can you talk? And you mentioned therapy a little bit earlier, and how it changed your perspective. How did talking to someone um, help you in your life and seeking therapy?
Um, you got to find the right therapist. That's first and foremost. The first guy I went to was terrible. Um,
Mm,
he was super evangelical, like Christian guy, just believed everything I did. And sent back to me. I was like, well, what about the shit that happened when I didn't smoke weed? You know, it was still going on then. So like, that's not the issue.
yeah.
Um, but like, that's the first part of it. You got to find somebody you're comfortable talking to. Secondly, like I I'm a very analytical person. I found out that I don't do well with therapists, unfortunately, because and it's not that I feel like I'm being judged or anything like that. There's part of that. I just like I can't explain the things that are going on in my head to people, and unfortunately, like I'm really analytical. So like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a psychologist anyway. And I started studying that kind of stuff, and so I'm in a lot how the brain works and a lot of things. And um, what happened was for me, like it wasn't exactly the therapist. I had to talk to my wife differently. My wife and I turned each other's therapist. That's really what, you know what I'm saying? We had to talk to each other differently. And when we started talking to each other differently, you started seeing changes. Because not only could we hold each other accountable to the things that we said we were going to do for each other and for ourselves, is we could directly impact each other when we were having episodes. I couldn't get that with a therapist. therapist. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't go up to the therapist after I jumped out of the car at a dude at a stoplight, pissed off because he brake checked me 3 times while he was watching Rick and Morty and just fucking on his cell phone. Sorry, language. But I couldn't call my therapist that day. I had to wait like 3 days later to go talk to him. At that point, I'm already past it. I've already analyzed the situation. I've already thought about why I shouldn't have gotten out of the car. Although he did bring up a good point of like, what if the guy had a gun or something? I didn't think about the time. But like, I thought about why I shouldn't have got out of the car. I also thought about why I shouldn't have chased him back to Pop where it worked out. And you know what I mean? Like, I had anger issues. But my wife can, because she sees me in those moments, you know what I mean, or she sees me at those times, and she can calm me down and she can calm me through. So like, it's not only being able to talk to anyone at all. You got to have somebody in your circle that actually cares, actually gives a shit about you. Not a lot of people have that sometimes. Like, you have people that say you're there for you, but when it's really that, you know, when you really need it, there's few and far between. You know what I mean? We all got one that we can rely on. You know what I'm saying? My wife is my ride or die. She's here with me no matter what. It's been 15 years we've been together. I ain't like this. I don't know how it happened. Somehow, like, we started talking, and 6 months later we're in a relationship. I don't know what happened in between that time, but we were there. We were walking down the beach one night, and I'm looking up, and I'm like, how the hell did this happen? Like, what happened? We're literally in a relationship now. Anyway, so like, but 15 years since then, man, she's been my rock. She's been the person I've been able to talk to. She's been the person that's helped make me the most sense of everything that's going on, including wrestling. Honestly, she's my best source for anything wrestling, because y'all think I'm a brutal guy talking to people about how stuff is. This girl has been in the locker room since she was a baby. Her family was in the business back in the day. All these people think my wife is just some random person that I met somewhere. No, man, she's been in the business longer than I have. You know. And like, she's watched all this stuff. She watched her family on the Indies for years. She's watched me for 15 years doing this. Good, bad, and ugly. A lot of
Yeah.
She hears me complain about everything that happens in the business. If you think your wife doesn't know wrestling, and for any wrestlers that think wives out there don't know wrestling, you're fucking stupid. You're stupid. They know this business better than we do. They watch everything. They see it all. They see all the drama. They see all the people talking behind people's backs. They hear all the stuff from the other wrestlers, because all the women talk to each other about everything we all talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, the women don't miss nothing. Sure, your wives are. Take time at home. Be with your family some. You know what I'm saying? You only get one life. I'm sorry. I'll save all that for the end.
Well, let me ask you a question. And you just mentioned that your wife kind of grew up in the business. Was she a little apprehensive at first when you guys met, and she knew you was a wrestler? Was she driven to dating a wrestler? Or was she like, I don't want to deal with wrestlers?
All right. So I was at Power Pro Wrestling at the time. I was going through divorce and all that. We were already separated, and like, I was sleeping at this dude's house. But I would go up to Sanford and wrestle all the time, and she knew this guy Juan Carlos, and would come down to shows with him hanging out. I thought they would have done it. Well, there was one night that me and Tito Rain had this deal where he picked me up. He turned on me, hung me with a rope, like a bull rope over the top rope in the ring. But before he did all that, he picked me up for a spine buster, and I went down and tore my MCL because my leg was. I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't go to the hospital. I went to Andy's, which is now like Highway 66 or something like that. But like
the steak place.
Yeah.
Andy
like
steak and cheese.
Yeah, steak and cheese place. Yeah.
Okay.
We used to go there after Power Pro shows. They would open up late and stay open for us till like 1 o'clock in the morning for shows. It was good money for them. They'd have like 300 people coming there and have a good time, and everybody take care of them. Well, anyway, I'm walking up there with a limp, and she looks at me. She's like, "Okay, Superman, don't you think you should go to the doctor?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, man. Don't worry about it." And like, she was just a smart ass to me from day one. You know what I'm saying? And then we just started hanging out. We started talking. We talked on Twitter a lot. And And like I was talking to a couple of the girls at the time, and they just kind of faded away. And her and I just kept talking and just hanging out and stuff. And I told her the whole time, like, I'm not into a relationship. I'm just going through a divorce. Like, I got issues going on there. I'm still doing bullshit. I'm not married. Like, I don't need drama. You know what I'm saying? I don't need any more. And I had been in that relationship for 9 years. So there's, you know, I felt like I could go out and throw some wild oats, shit like that, make up the lost time. Right? Well, I did for a little bit, but she's just grounded me, man. And Reed, she's kept coming down and hanging out in Fayetteville, and like she see me at shows. And man, at the time, all I was doing, because I was like so stupid over the divorce and like what all was going on, and beat myself up for it, feeling smart and stuff on. I was just drinking all the time, like just in a terrible mood and terrible state. I didn't care. Like I just wanted to. I felt like I needed to punish myself for screwing up my marriage and screwing up everything that's going on with that thing. But she was always there, man. She never left. She made sure like the nights that were bad, like she was around. I could talk to her on the phone. I needed to get out of there and move back into my mom's house and stuff. She helped me pack and get my stuff. You know what I mean? It was just never left. She's always been that rock. No matter what happened, no matter how many times my IED made me yell, the house was always been there to calm me down. So I wouldn't be me without her. She's the best thing that's ever happened. I tell myself, I love her. I tell her, and I love her. You know, I want her to know that at least somebody thinks she's gorgeous.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm over here getting watery eyed, boy. struck a nerve, boy. Trying to tell you. But it's great that you have the support system that you do, man. And I think when you do decide to step away from the wrestling business, I know that she's going to be there to support your transition to the next phase of life that you have, which is beautiful, man.
She can't wait, man. She's trying to get me out of as fast as possible. No, I'm just kidding. She totally isn't, man. She talks a lot of shit about wrestling and everything else, but she loves it just as much as I do. And she supports the hell out of me with this. Like she wants me to do everything I want to do. Like she pushes me to go to training more often. She pushes me to like do really well in booking. She's the first person to tell me whether I did bad or good in the ring or what I can improve on. She cares more than anybody else, man. I appreciate it. I just appreciate her. She's like, she don't get enough credit as a mom and as a person, as my wife. Like I love her. She's the best thing that's ever happened.
Boy, that's how you put her over. That's how you put her over. Oh man. Listen, you got a new show that you have been doing, and I've been checking it out, and there's some great stuff, man. It's called Wrestler's Court, and you are the judge, jury, and executioner, Mark James, Judge Mark James. Talk about that real quick. The Wrestling Court, and then in the show, man. Put it over.
So Wrestlers Court is on the Bad Pants Media Network. We do show. It's sporadic, man. It's whenever we have a case. But if you've got a problem with somebody in the wrestling industry, if did your tag partner turn on you? Did your manager put you in a match that you didn't want to do? Were you mistakenly put into a handicap match? Did someone? If they did, take them to court. Reach out to Bad Pants Media. Reach out to me. Let's get it set up. You sue them for damages for taking you out of your position in that wrestling company. It's time to help. We've had 2 cases so far. The Allens versus the Allens. We had Robert Stephen Mason took Justin Kindred Allen to court for the Wrestling Evolution contract. It was a championship contract that they had that they said was supposed to be theirs. And he won the match. He was supposed to give it to him, and he didn't. So we had to go to court over that. Justin ended up keeping that title contract and beat Mason for it here last weekend. Congratulations, Justin Kindred Allen. Great job.
Absolutely.
And And then we had Amanda Kiss took Drew Hood to court. Drew Hood brought in the law dog, Josh Powers, as his attorney, who's now going to turn into a public defendant on Russell Court. So if anybody comes in and they need a defendant, public defender, we've got Josh Powers for you, law dog, ready. He's watched 3 legal episodes. He's ready. Good to go.
Absolutely.
But that's it,
Hey,
man. It's a really fun time, man. I worry people take it too serious, but like we just go in there and cut up and have a good time and try and get some characters over. It's really fun. So let us know if you want to come on.
Oh man, I think I would like to be on the episode. I want to defend somebody or persecute somebody. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I might take Roosevelt ass to wrestling. Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
Let's do it, man.
For what? What did I do?
I'll find
You too damn pretty.
Yeah.
You too damn pretty.
I'll find the
That's
damn
why.
Oh man. Well, listen. I want to go ahead and get into it because the last time that you were on this show, it was very interesting because I don't think that Roosevelt actually knew you were going to come on, and you had cut a promo against him, and I think that you guys had a match coming up, and you popped on, and it was a very interesting exchange. That wasn't Roosevelt then; it was Mr. Everything. You know what I'm saying? But Mark James, I want to see if you still got some chops, man. So I want to go ahead and do best damn promos, man, and have you and Roosevelt go against each other in a promo battle. You down for that?
Yeah, man, I'm down. Is he starting? It's his home court. We can let him go first.
That's
All right.
fine with me. That's fine with me.
All right, home court. You know what I'm saying? Let's make this shit happen. I've been waiting for this all week. Beautiful people, prepare yourself. It's about to get juicy in this bitch. We are going to war. All right, Roosevelt, it's on you.
I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. In the years that I've known you, I don't think that you are actually tapping into your true potential, Mark. I think that you've held back for so long that you've lost yourself. Somewhere in the shuffle, you've lost who you truly are. You've lost the ability to be a true brute. I have a job, and I'm going to tell you what that job is. My job is to pull that out of you. My job is to make you let it all go. All the heartache, all the pain, all the turmoil, everything that you have been going through in your life. My job is to make you let it all go. Because before you walk away from this, I want everyone in the entire world to know how truly great you are, Mark. But I need you to understand 2 rules for me first. Rule number 1 is I knock dudes out. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Because my name is Roosevelt. And just like you, I like to fight.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Jab, right cross. You know what I'm saying? Little uppercut. Oh man, Mark James, what you got, brother?
I feel like the guy just put me over instead of did a promo. Okay.
Yeah, it was weird, but, you know.
Let's go. Go. All right. I'm ready. There you go. Look, Roosevelt, I appreciate how you feel that I've lost my edge. I appreciate that you feel comfortable being around me and thinking that I'm not as brutal as I used to be. But the brute Mark James, if anything, will always be the most brutal person in this industry. And let me give you an example why. Roosevelt, you would not be Roosevelt if it were not for Mark James. And I'm not just saying that as a fictitious statement here. A few years ago, when I first came on this broadcast, you got slammed in the face with a steel cage door. That changed you. That made you a different person. Enough that not only did you feel like you had to change your look to wear a suit and be taken as more of a professional, you had to change your entire name and your entire character. So who really isn't who they used to be? Vic or Roosevelt? Which one are you? Because I've beat the hell out of Vic plenty of times. And I may not have fought Roosevelt yet. But I feel like the ending's still going to be the same. Because I change people when you step in the ring with me, Roosevelt. After that match, you would never be the same again. And I challenge you to one day come after this title. If you want to see how great I can be, and you really want to test how great you are, come fight me. That goes for you. That goes for anybody in this industry. If you want the brute, come get it.
If you want some, come get some.
Why you got to bring up old shit though? Why you gotta...
Hey man, because that's what I do. That's what I change people. I told you I had something to say for Trayvon Ali, right? Yes. Trayvon Ali. Y'all, yeah, everybody wants to talk about how Killer Kross comes out in WWE and he changes people and they're going back to these old characters, right? But nobody's talked about how the fact that everybody I've touched since I've come back to this wrestling industry has changed. They've all become more aggressive. They've all become more important in the business. And they all have that edge now, right? Roosevelt, look at you. Sean Cruz, look at him. Look at Trayvon Ali, right? Look at Alex. Look at Jackson Drake.
Ooh.
A year ago, Jackson Drake was passed over for WWE. Javon Evans left here and done an amazing job since he's been there. But Jackson didn't know what to do with himself. And I'm going to talk about that for a second because here on May 23rd, we've got a match against each other. And Jackson, as incredible as you are as a wrestler, you still have to face me before you can get out of here. And you know in your head and in your heart of hearts that you were not the same from then until now. And part of that reason is because you joined us in the process. And Jackson, you trust the process now. You understand the process. We all embrace the process. But who taught you that process, Jackson? That was me. And on May 23rd, we finished that lesson. And I so look forward to it.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I changed Trayvon, man. When Trayvon and he wants to talk about how I beat him with a cheap little roll up. No, Trey, I made you hit me with a chair for you to lose that match. You were so out of your mind with anger. You had to brutalize me to get it out. And now look at you, Trayvon Ali, you got your beads. You don't need to swallow anything but your pride when you fight people. Let's not be the swallow. Let's never say that. Ever. Y'all let him do that too. None of y'all said pause. You let him on your show saying he was the swallower of the inferior. Y'all let him. None of y'all said pause.
I was with him.
That's your boy. that's your boy. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I'm down. Let's change the people. I want to do it, and I'm going to do it in the ring, and I'm going to do it outside for a long time.
Absolutely, man. This is great. Hold on, I'm getting a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, we got it. What happened to Chef? We lost Chef.
Yeah, we did lose Chef. He had some connectivity issues, but
I
and
forwarded him
listen,
to that
man,
deal.
this has have been a great interview, and you are always a great interview, man. And I don't think that this is the end of Mark James DeBrute when you do decide to step away. Like I said, your influence is too big, especially in the Carolinas, man. Your influence is really big, man. So I'm excited to see what you end up doing. I would love to see you and Roosevelt maybe in an Iron Man match. Or maybe in a hyperdrive match, you know what I'm saying? Well, you haven't been in the hyperdrive tournament yet, you know what I'm saying? 3 rounds. I think that you and Roosevelt will put on one hell of a battle in the hyperdrive championship match, or just a hyperdrive match in general. But I definitely want to see you guys go in it for the distance in the ring, man. And I think that maybe Newborn might be the place to do it. Maybe UPN.
Maybe.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Never know. You never know.
Everything
Down,
is
man.
possible, man. I look forward to it. I look forward to
Yeah.
that.
I'd love to. Like I said, I don't know. Like, there's not an exact date that I have in mind or anything like that. But like, I know I need to start kind of hitting the dusty trail a little bit. Like there's so many great young talents out there, and I can help them just as well outside the ring as I can in the ring. And I've learned that from going up to Firestar, working with these young kids, going through training. It's really cool. You see a lot of light bulbs turn on, and you can help a lot of people. And that's the goal. It's always been the goal. Always will be the goal. It's just to help people. And if you think I'm an asshole, you're probably doing something wrong. Like, I'm only a dick to people that are trying to hurt the business. That's it. Or hurt people in the business. I don't want anything to do with any of that stuff. I don't want drama. I'm not trying to bring drama. When I make a Facebook post about something, everybody thinks I'm trying to cause some big uproar. I'm not. I just get tired of seeing dumb shit. You know what I mean? And somebody's got to say something about it. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to lose a booking over it. Nobody's going to not book me off of some opinion that I have. I'm not getting booked to WWE. I'm not going to TNA. I'm not going to AEW. Ring of Honor, none of that shit. I don't care. Like, they're not going to book me. So I'm going to say what's on my mind. I'm going to tell people how I feel. If you're messing around with kids, I'm going to tell you need to not be at wrestling shows. If you're unsafe, I'm going to tell you need to not be in the ring. Like, I don't have a need to sugarcoat things for people in this, because like, you're not going to kick my ass. So I don't care.
Yeah, I think that you, and I will say this, you are fearless when it comes to calling people out on their bullshit. And I've seen you do it to promoters. I've seen you do it to wrestlers. And you are very boisterous in that arena. Being brutally honest. I think you embody the whole brute character, man, just in general. And I think a lot of people respect you for that, because it's not easy to use your voice against injustices or people who are just creeps, man. So somebody got to do it. It's gonna be the brute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, man. And like, in the grand scheme of things, if you don't like me calling out pedophiles, if you don't like me calling out people that are just morally wrong, if you don't like me calling out people that are bigots, then I don't care. I don't care. I don't need to work with you. I don't need to be around you. Like, that's not the type of person I want to hang out with. Nothing like that. If you don't care about the people around you, I don't need to be around you. If we're not all trying to make each other better, then I don't want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just unnecessary. If you're hurting people, if you're hurting women, if you're hurting children, I want you thrown under a jail. Plain and simple. And I'll help them do it. Like, I just don't care. Like, there's not one part of my body. Like, I could literally, guys, and this is me, like, this is the most serious thing I'll ever say in my life. Okay. If me hating a pedophile and talking shit about one, or me talking about a carny ass promoter that's screwing guys out of money or screwing guys out of experience, if that's what's going to cost me my ability to wrestle in the future, oh fucking God. I don't care. I don't need it. I don't have to. I can never step in this ring again. I'll be perfectly fine. If that's what takes me out, me talking, protecting the business and protecting the women in this business, protecting the kids in this business, if that's what takes me out, no fucking perfectly fine.
Here, sir. Here. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I'm right there with you. So,
yeah.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for having me on. Like, I don't know how long you want to go with this. I can talk. I've got at least 10 minutes.
Well, I know you got another engagement that you need to get to, and I don't want to hold you up from there because we can talk to you forever, man. And you know we love you and we respect you, my brother, and we're gonna keep on supporting you in your journey wherever it goes. And definitely, you are the embodiment of a champion, and inside the ring and outside of the ring. You know what I'm saying? And that really shows in this interview. And so anybody who is looking for a great talent to be able to put in their locker room or just a great personality to get to know and push their products, man, Mark James is it. You have been dropping jewels this whole entire podcast. We got this segment on the show called Final Word, where you give a little bit of motivation, a little word to help people get through their week. So Mark James, the judge, Mark James, do you have a final word for the beautiful people?
Yes. My final word is be the example, not the exception.
I love that. Be the example, not the exception. I like that. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I was just checking.
That's exactly it. Be the example. Be the thing that people want to strive to be like for being a great example. Don't be the exception that gets away with shit because you got privilege. Don't be. You know what I'm saying? Like be the example for. Be that light. Be that guide. Be the people that are going to help other people. And hopefully you see it back. But like a lot of people want to like they get upset when they give and don't get back, and you can't do it. Like that's not what this business is about. So you give a lot and you never get back. You gotta stop. It's fine. But regardless, be the example always, not the exception. Like you have to.
Absolutely. That is a great final word from Judge Mark James. Oh man, Roosevelt, do you have a final word for your beautiful subjects?
absolutely, man. I mean, Mark James been dropping a lot of jewels today, but I got one final word for the beautiful people: is just trust people to be who they are and not who you want them to be. You just got to see people for who they are and not who you want them to be. You know, and I know a lot of people talk about red flags and green flags and all these different things, but sometimes you got to sit back and say, you know what, you are who you are. You're showing me who you are, and it's my responsibility whether I'm going to take it and go with it or I'm going to walk away from it. Simple and plain. That's my final word for the best damn nation.
Oh man. Bravo, sir. That is a great final word from your boy, Roosevelt. I think my final word is, and I'm sitting here and I have a couple of books in front of me, and one of the books that I have in front of me is Barack Obama's book, The Audacity of Hope. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to say to the beautiful people is have the audacity to want change in your life. Have the audacity for hope. Have the audacity to be able to stand up for what you believe in. Have the audacity to think that you can be and have a better life than you already have. You know what I'm saying? Be courageous. I'm about to say courageous. That ain't the word. Be courageous. Be vigilant and be strong and have the audacity to want change in your life. Because you can absolutely change anything that you want to in your life for the better. So have the audacity to hope, have the audacity to have strength, have the audacity to want to change things for the better in your life. That is a final word from your boy, Brian Renegade. Oh man, that's Brute approved. I love it. Brute approved.
Absolutely, man. Y'all dropping knowledge, man. This is a great. Y'all are a positive group. Y'all are a group that lifts each other up, and you can tell that you guys are motivated. And I love being around people like that. Y'all get me excited about life. So thank you guys so much for having me on. Thanks for your energy. Thanks for giving me a place to speak for a long time, and y'all being willing to just listen to me ramble. I appreciate all that because I know I talk a lot. So thank you guys so much.
That's why we had you on the show, man. We know the Brute. Yeah, but man, it's an honor to have you on here, man. And like I say, a lot of people that come on the show rant and rave about you. So I want you to know that you are appreciated in the wrestling business. You are respected in the wrestling business, and we love you, man. You're a great positive force. And a lot of people that call you friend are lucky to have you, man. So thank you for being on here and showing us some love like you does, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Mark James, we got to have you do it, man. I want to have you help me in the show. Okay. So I'm going to say we will see you next week on the next best. I'm going to point to you, and I want you to say damn. The only way that Mark James can say damn. You know what I'm saying? Bring out that inner Ron Simmons. I want a brutal damn from the brutal man. All right? You ready?
I got you.
Let's do it. Beautiful people, best damnation. We will see you next week on the next best.
Damn.
Woo, shit. Yeah. Wrestling podcast. I think I farted. Something left my body. Maybe it was my soul, but that was a good one. That was a good brutal damn from the one and only Mark James. We're gonna go ahead and let you go, Mark James. You know we love and respect you, man, and you are a member of the Best Damn Crew. Come on anytime that you want to come on and just talk shit with your boys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man.
And look,
we got back sometime. Thank you, guys.
We're gonna have some events this year, man. So hopefully we can get to Mark James. You know what I'm saying? One of the events, maybe against Roosevelt.
I talked to Vic. Vic's got some dates that I'm open on. Just hit me up. Let's make sure we're still good. But I'd love to be there.
All right, absolutely, man. We're gonna make that happen. Good luck with all of your future endeavors, sir. And check out Wrestlers Court on Bad Pants Media, where you can see Mark James do his thing and be judge, the jury, and the executioner. Love it. All right, beautiful people. We can't hold you no longer. We bid you adieu.